Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today is quite a busy day for all you commanders in DC, Dark Legion, because the August 12th update has officially gone live. I'm making this video to guide you through the event even though it isn't new, as well as analyze and review this latest update. So without wasting any more time, let's get straight into the analysis. The first thing, and also the thing I'm most excited about, is the brand new cross-server tournament mode called Absolute Krypton Rush. In terms of the story, the game has built it in a pretty interesting way. A Kryptonian cargo ship crashed in the polar region, and when warm water flows in, Kryptonian artifacts begin to emerge from beneath the ice. Even though nobody cares about the story, I'm still going to talk about it. As for the gameplay, the 8 strongest leagues from each server will be invited to participate in a 4-week-long event directly competing against elite leagues from other servers. What I find interesting here is that this format is no longer simply about ranking within your own server. Instead, it turns into a real competition between different communities, creating a much higher level of competition compared to the regular league events we've had before. However, there is one thing you need to keep in mind. Even though the event was announced today, actual registration will only open on August 25th, which is still quite a while away. My advice here is that I have no advice at all. Just wait, because I also don't know exactly how this mode will operate yet. However, you definitely need to try to build the strongest team possible, especially if your league has a chance of making it into the top 8 on your server. This is the time to discuss strategies with your leader and other members, because a tournament lasting 4 weeks requires long-term preparation rather than simply going all out for 1 or 2 days. Next up is the returning event called Feline Fugitive, which officially opens today, August 13th, and the requirement to participate is having your war room at level 10. As for the content, this is a pretty fun story. Catwoman is hired by the villain Savage to steal a treasure, but she intentionally leaves clues behind for Batman to follow, basically playing a cat and mouse game with the very person who hired her. Even though I know nobody cares, I'm still going to talk about it. Luckily, if anyone actually wants to hear the story, you can listen to it here. In terms of gameplay, you'll use the Bat GPR to search for hidden treasure across the map, solve puzzles by following the clues Catwoman left behind, and in return, you'll receive some pretty generous rewards. In addition, while playing this event, you can also earn Thieves' Market tokens, which can be used to exchange for valuable items in the event shop. Personally, I think this is a pretty relaxing puzzle-style event, perfect for taking a break between those intense farming sessions. And because the war room requirement is only level 10, pretty much everyone can participate from relatively early on. My advice is to complete this event as soon as possible so you can accumulate as many Thieves' Market tokens as you can. As for spending gems on it, since I'm not sure what rewards the other major league event will offer, or whether it will require a lot of gems, I don't feel comfortable recommending that you spend too many gems on this event. However, you should still use a small amount of gems to get 10 or 15 anvils. Now we get to the feature that I think will have the biggest long-term impact on how you play the game, and that is the completely new Champion Power Rankings feature. Basically, this feature unlocks after you own 3 mythic champions. Once unlocked, you can view the champion power rankings for the entire server and compete in the rankings for any champion you own. What really caught my attention is how detailed the reward system is. Every week, the top 50 commanders on the leaderboard will receive an exclusive limited frame and a limited title dedicated to that specific champion. On top of that, there are also rewards based on champion power milestones, meaning that as long as you reach a certain power threshold, you can claim a reward without necessarily having to make it into the top 50. I think this is a pretty fair design because it gives top server commanders an incentive to compete while also not leaving behind regular players who simply want to build one champion as strongly as possible. The game has also added a dedicated rankings entrance directly inside the bleed and on the champion details screen, making it much easier for you to check. My advice here is that if you already have 3 mythic champions, try choosing the champion you've invested the most into and focus on pushing that champion's power as high as possible. The milestone rewards are something that everyone can obtain, so you don't necessarily have to grind extremely hard just to make it into the top 50. And honestly, the rewards are pretty generous too. Another feature that is also worth paying attention to is base protection. This mechanic works as follows. After your base gets destroyed twice in a single day, protection mode will automatically activate for 48 hours. While protected, your base's durability cannot drop below 1, meaning the base can never be completely destroyed, although it can still be attacked and infiltrated normally. The point I want to emphasize is that if you actively attack other players, including initiating or participating in a coordinated assault, your base protection will end immediately. In other words, this works like a balancing mechanic to prevent players from being constantly harassed by stronger opponents, while at the same time preventing you from enjoying protection while freely attacking other players. In my opinion, this is a reasonable addition to the game's PvP environment, giving newer or weaker players some time to recover instead of having their base constantly camped. However, my advice is not to rely too heavily on this mechanic and neglect your defense, because 48 hours actually passes pretty quickly. And once the protection expires, if your defensive lineup is still weak, the cycle of getting your base destroyed will simply start all over again. As for character improvements, Batman Knightfight is the character that received the most adjustments in this update, although I haven't had a chance to test him myself yet, but these improvements are already here. His Whirling Verdict skill now not only deals physical damage based on a percentage of attack as before, but also adds a crit rate increase effect for 10 seconds, with the amount of the increase varying quite significantly depending on the skill level. Meanwhile, Unbroken Resolve has received an even bigger buff. In addition to increasing max HP like before, it now also grants a flat attack increase, and more importantly, when his HP drops below 50%, his attack will receive another additional increase. Overall, this is clearly a significant buff for Batman Knightfight, transforming him from a tank focused mainly on surviving into more of a bruiser who can both take a lot of punishment and deal better the damage, the longer the fight continues. If you own Batman Knightfight, this is a very good time to invest more into him. I reviewed him before and already found him to be strong, and now he has received another buff. And on my server, he's about to appear soon. On top of that, the game also made a small but very practical adjustment to gear transmutation. The transmute button will now be temporarily locked whenever a set bonus is active, preventing players from accidentally clicking it and losing a set that currently has an active bonus. This is the kind of small fix that shows the developers are still listening to community feedback about annoying issues in everyday gameplay. There are also a number of visual and animation improvements for the Batman Knightfight screen, a new weekly bundle cash supply package, as well as fixes for several minor display issues in the champion preview and battle reports received through mail. To sum everything up, in my opinion, this DC Dark Legion update is one of the most balanced and complete patches we've had so far. It brings new PvE content with Feline Fugitive, long-term competitive content with Absolute Krypton Rush, a brand new ranking system for champions, and a very reasonable base protection mechanic for PvP. If I had to give one general piece of advice to everyone, it would be to prioritize completing Feline Fugitive right away, since it is already available, while also taking some time to prepare your league lineup for the tournament at the end of the month. And if you have Batman Knightfight, don't hesitate to invest more into him, because his skills have just received a pretty significant buff. Thank you all for watching the entire video. If you found this analysis helpful, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the upcoming DC Dark Legion updates. I'll see you all in the next video.